Welcome back to another deck tech video. Today I'm going to be covering a deck that I have really wanted to build since the Avatar set has hit Magic the Gathering, and that deck of course is the beloved Monk Gyatso. But before we get any further into it, if you could subscribe, it's free and you can always change your mind later. Now let's get into it. Monk Gyatso was the strongest airbender at the time that he lived, and I think that this card shows that. This card reads whenever another creature you control becomes the target of a spell or an ability, you may airbend it. This is really great protection for your creatures, but if you were paying really close attention, you might have realized that it works with all spells and abilities, including your own. This means we can recast our creatures over and over again and get all those sweet enter the battlefield triggers. Now that you know the game plan, let's talk about the best way to do this. One of the best ways to do this is equipment with equip cost 0. This will allow us to airbend our creatures over and over again since the equip ability targets our creatures. Some of the equipment we will run to do this is Shugo, Umbral Mantle, and Lightning Greaves. These are all equipment with cost 0 to equip. Now that we are airbending, we want to make this better, and to do that we will run cost reducing spells like Helm of the Awakening, the Immortal Sun, and Wind Crystal. These will allow us to cast our spells that we airbend for less or even free in the later game, and also allow us with our 0 cost equipment and a cost reduction of 2 to have infinite enter the battlefield triggers. This is where your deck will really start to churn. Now the next logical step is what kind of ETBs are we going to need to run, and while some examples are Wall of Omens, Aerial Extortionist, and Court Cartographer. Wall of Omens is a cheap 2 mana creature that allows you to draw a card when it enters. Aerial Extortionist is a type of removal. Even though they can get the cards back, keep in mind the goal is to continuously cast it and do it to everything you need to, and possibly every turn. Lastly, Court Cartographer's Mana Ramp. These are basic types of ETBs that we'll be trying to do over and over again. Now, there are some cards that aren't as likely that you'll be able to pull off, but will be really fun and really cool, and I'd at least like to mention them. These are Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger and Oblivion Soar. Ulamog has a cast trigger of exile 2 target permanents. This would be diabolical to get cast over and over again, just consume the entire battlefield, and I mean everything. If you're really that mean, you could even get rid of all lands, kind of fitting for a creature called the Ceaseless Hunger. Now moving on to Oblivion Soar. It's another Eldrazi, but this one's more likely to happen because it only costs 6 mana, but that doesn't make it any less powerful. This card will exile the top 4 cards of an opponent's library and let you get any number of lands they have in exile. This, if you repeat it infinitely, will allow you to get rid of everyone's libraries, causing them to lose on their draw step. These cards are immensely powerful. Okay, now moving on, we can stop talking about our ETBs and kind of move on to how the deck will actually win. I think you can figure out many ways to win with this deck, but I think there are 2 likely outcomes and 2 most likely ways for you to win. They are Infinite Tokens and Infinite Drain. The cards that will allow us to do this, however, are Oketra's Monument and Bontu's Monument. Oketra's Monument will reduce the cost of your creatures, but not only that, it'll also make tokens when you cast them. Bontu's Monument, you won't get the cost reduction, but you still will get to turn your creature spells into life drain, which will allow you to win. There are obviously other ways to win in this deck, like Oblivion Soar, which I mentioned earlier, and also Aetherflux Reservoir, which is typically a Storm-style win con in this deck. I'm also sure that there are others that I haven't mentioned, but I don't think that you will be stuck without a win con as long as you get your infinite draw or infinite tokens, either one. And I really think that's all you need to know to build this deck. That being said, as always, the full deck list is in the description. If you like the video, consider leaving a like or sharing the video with someone who might like it as well. For more Magic content, subscribe, and as always, whether on this plane or another, have a wonderful day.